Hey guys, Fro here. Welcome to my channel. It's a very beautiful day. I just wanted to make this quick vlog. I was out hiking and just scouting in the woods because I hunt. But today I didn't really see anything, and it's been kind of rainy. So I think the rain was just making it a lot very difficult to really move around. So if you can see my shoes, it's all really muddy. So I didn't quite see. This is spring, so it's turkey season now. So I was just out. I wasn't really expecting much. I just really wanted to get out from the house and just check things out. Down here. And then just see what's out there. And I think there is this 1 week that's available for hunting, and I think after that the season should be over within the next couple of days here. So I just thought it was interesting to go out and just check it out. So but as always, going out and checking things out is always very fascinating. So I just wanted to come in with this quick video to talk about something that has been that I've been thinking about for a while, and I think that could add a lot of value to a lot of the subscribers on my channel and a lot of the people who follow my work. And the main focus of me making these videos is to not just educate, but to inspire and to entertain you guys, so you can go out, achieve your dreams, get the jobs that you want, the relationships that you want, the careers that you want, and just the overall goals that you want to achieve. I'm just going to walk here a little bit. So but this video, as you can see from the title, is I should have made this video from home, but I was just kind of in the zone, and I just thought it's important to always make videos when you're in the zone. And the title for this video is what is the most important what is the most important skill for a man, or you can say what is the most important characteristic of a man, what is the most important attribute of a man. And guys, I know I have ladies that are watching my videos. This one is really gonna be about guys. This is not really about lady. I was out hunting and kind of in the guy zone thinking. So I was just kind of thinking, what is the most important skill that every man, I mean man with a capital M, should have, right? What is it? I'm sure you guys might have guesses in terms of what that will be. If you do, please leave it in the comment below before I dive into what it is and why I think that that's the most important skill. And it's a skill that if you have it as a man, not only would it allow you to get your jobs, your career will skyrocket, your personal relationships will skyrocket, and even your romantic relationship, guys, believe me or not, will skyrocket. Because I always say life is holistic. You can't just think about career and not think about everything else, right? Because it really doesn't work that way. Now, the most important, and I'm gonna be switching my hand here, there could be a lot of things that you can say about what the most important skill as a man would be. Well, it's really beautiful. The sun is coming out. You guys cannot really see it, but it's just, isn't that amazing? Yeah, it is. So the most important skill, guys, as a man is to be prepared. For situations. Now, I know you guys are saying, but that sounds generic. What does it mean to be prepared for situations? Guys, a lot of things can happen in life, but the things that separate men from children, people that have this character are attractive, is that of preparedness. Preparedness in their goals, preparedness in their relationships, preparedness when things don't go the way they want and how they respond to it, preparedness in how they carry themselves, preparedness in how they deal with the people around them. Guys, if you're always prepared, it separates you as a man from people that walk around that are just boys thinking that they are men, right? It goes to being prepared. I'm gonna break it down a little bit, just imagine, and I'm gonna talk about this from more of a romantic perspective. So just imagine that you have a girl, or you somebody, and you're taking that person out on a date. You've reached out to a girl, and you've proposed for a date, and you're taking her out for a date. and the day has come. You maybe pick her up and you decide that's what you want to do. You go, you pick her up, and you guys are going, and you all dressed up, you're ready, and you've told the girl to meet you at 6 o'clock or to be ready at 6 o'clock, and you're gonna pick her up at 6 o'clock. So 6 o'clock reaches, and then you leave your house, you go, you pick up the girl, and the date, the place where you guys are going for dinner is not, it's about 3 miles, it's not too far. So you jump into the car, she jumps into the car, and you're driving, and you're all ready for that moment. It's very important for you, and you go down, you're less than 1 mile in, and guess what? You're out of gas. There's no gas in your car, you're just out of gas, and you start figuring out. So you look at the situation, it's very embarrassing, and then you turn around and you say, God, you start cursing that car. You can't believe that, damn, why does this car has to be out of gas just when it's so important for this important date? You start cursing and you start blaming, and then you start cursing around. It's like, why is there no gas station around here? And you're looking around, it's like, I can't believe it. And the lady meanwhile is just sitting beside you, and she's just looking and just being frustrated, and you guys are just really, really confused. So you manage, you flag down the car, and you can run around, you go buy the gas you can. By the time you go to dinner, the dinner is closed, so you guys just manage something at McDonald's or something, and you eat and you go. Now, a lot of people might read this in a different way, but guess what? My guess is that if the lady has any sense, unless situations are really very unique for you, I guess if you call her the second time, you'll be very, I'll be very surprised if she picks up that call and responds to you and want to keep going out on the date, right? Because what you've just demonstrated there is lack of preparedness, and that's something that is very, very, very unattractive. It's something that really makes you into like a child. That's really what children are. They're not prepared. They're not always prepared. They're either late and they complain and they don't have their things together. But as a man, it's your job. It's your job to be prepared at every time for the situations that come your way. Now, it doesn't mean that being prepared means you always will be successful. It doesn't mean that, let's say you're going for a job interview and you're prepared for that job interview. It doesn't mean that, well, you're gonna get the job. No, nothing in life is guaranteed. But even if you don't get the job, you at least will be able to walk around with your chest high and said, I was prepared. I did my homework and I put in the effort. That is what it means to be a man, to be prepared. You know, one of the things that I walk around is, say somebody's driving down the road. I was driving down the road one time, and I had bought this really, really crappy car. It was a truck. Right now I don't drive a truck. I just drive a small sedan. I don't want to show you guys the car because people sometimes want to see what kind of cars we drive. So anyways, I was driving down the road and I had bought this truck. It was really cheap. I've been thinking about buying a truck for a while, and I've just been really holding up on it. So I bought this truck. My whole goal was just to use it for yard work, and I didn't really care if it was a nice truck. It was really cheap, and I knew it was just junk, but I just bought it because I was like, I just needed something that once in a while, if I have some branches, I can put it there and then take it and dump it and then bring the car back. As long as it can take me like 3 miles that way and bring me 3 miles back to the dump yard and back, that is it. I keep it, and I always had my small car that I would use. So what happened was, I bought the truck and I used it for like a month or two. When I bought the truck, my understanding was, well, I would never use this truck for what it wasn't meant to be. So it wasn't meant to be my personal car. It was just meant to be a truck that I would use for situations like that. So now my small car, interestingly, had some issues. I was driving and I was seeing some lights and something like that, and it needed me to take it to the garage. So there was I took the car to the garage, and the mechanic, I had to leave it there basically overnight. So the car was there overnight, and I came back, and it was work. I had to work that day. Normally I work remote. I could work from home, or I could work, basically I don't have to go to the office every day, which I kind of have I have that flexibility. That's really good. So the company now had an event where I had to be the main person at that event, and I looked around. I'm like, I don't have a car here to use. The other car had taken it to the garage. My main car had taken it to the garage, and the truck was sitting in the driveway. And guess what? Temptation number one. I decided that, well, this truck hasn't failed me yet, so it's always taken me to the dump place, and I bring it back, and I've never really used it as my main truck. So if it hasn't had any problem, why don't I just use it and drive to that event, which was a little bit further out, it was like 20 miles out, and hopefully make it there and bring it back, because of course I didn't have another car, right? It was time. But luckily, I decided that, well, normally for events like that, I would leave like 30 minutes before, because it could take me 15 minutes to go. And if I leave 30 minutes, I can account for traffic and I make it there. For some reason, guys, that day I decided that I'll leave 2 hours before, because I wasn't quite sure of my, it's kind of getting cold there, because I wasn't quite sure of my truck. So I just, for some reason, I just said, let me leave 2 hours just so I can go get to that location and then sit at the coffee shop and wait for that event to start. I'm gonna put my hand here and rest. So I went out there and I jumped into the car and I was driving. Lo and behold, I didn't even go 4 miles, guys. I'm saying 4 miles. 1, 2, 3, 4 in. I've always used that truck for like, I bought it and I've used it for like 2 months. 4 miles in, that truck started smoking. Whoa. Talk about Murphy's Law. Whatever can go wrong will go wrong at the time you don't want it to go wrong. If I was going to dump off leaves and the truck made that misbehavior, sure, it would be a Saturday and I don't have a problem. Now I'm driving to an important event. That's when that thing comes crashing to my face. I was so confused. I was frustrated. Guess what I did? So I pulled out on the side of the road and I had to, first of all, make sure that it wasn't on fire. Luckily, it wasn't on fire. It was just like some radiator or something was smoking and it was just water vapor coming out. So actually people came by and some guy literally was driving by. He came out and he saw that he thought it was on fire. He came with a fire extinguisher. I was like, are you okay? And at the time I hadn't even gotten out of the car yet. He already pulled out the fire extinguisher from his car and ran back to me. I was asking, are you okay? And then we went to the front and looked at it wasn't fire, and then he kind of made sure I was okay. And then it was really on the highway, and then I told him I'll call 911, and then he made it to and went on his way. Actually, I didn't even call 911, and someone had already seen it and called already. It went so fast. But I took a couple of lessons in that situation. How many of you guys out there are walking around with fire extinguishers in your car, right? Ready for the moment that you will need it. Most people don't even have it, right? I can tell you that I don't even have a fire extinguisher in my car. And here's a man that was walking around, saw me in that situation, and he had fired a fire extinguisher in his car to come save me out of my mess, right? I put myself in that situation. So he was the one coming to save me out of my mess. And I felt so ashamed. I felt so like, whew, that's not cool, right? I just felt like that's not cool. And not only that, right? Me getting into that situation, I could blame the car for being an old car and going bad and things like that. But it's my fault for not being prepared and for not taking care of my business. Bear with me, guys. For not being prepared and for not taking care of my business and putting myself into that situation. And I could complain on how the car just was acting up and it blew up on me and things like that. But you know what? I can take responsibility. I just wasn't prepared. I should have understood that I'm going to an important meeting and maybe rented a car or figure out something to take me there. Sure, I would complain, well, why am I paying $90 to rent a car? Guess what? The only thing that saved my ass from making it to that meeting was because I left 2 hours before. That's the little preparedness that I had that actually saved my ass, because they were able to come in there, take the car, and I called my sister-in-law, and she was just leaving work at the time. She came pick me and drove me there, and I made it on time. I made it like 30 minutes, that 30 minutes window. So that entire hour and a half was lost. If I had left my house with my normal 30 minutes window and not thinking ahead and being proactive, there's no way I could have made it there, because that car would have smoked and I would have spent an hour and a half there before I ended up going there. I'll be late, right? And then, that's how you put yourself in situations where you lose your job, or you put yourself in situations where your date doesn't come true. You put yourself in situations where things happen to you, you lose contracts, and things happen to you, and you think that things are happening to you, and you're blaming everybody else. You're blaming the world. You're blaming the society. You're blaming everybody around you, but yourself, guys. You're blaming everybody. It's somebody else's fault. It's the car's fault. It's her fault. It's this person's fault. But were you prepared as a man? Were you prepared as a man? That's the question. That is what it takes to be a man. Real men are prepared for situations. They're prepared when they go on dates. They're prepared when at their careers. They're prepared when they go for interviews. They're prepared when they have games to play, soccer games. They're prepared when they have things to do. Guys, they are prepared. Look at your life. Are you prepared for the things that are important to you? Are you prepared? Not just the things that are important to you. Are you prepared for the unknowns? How many of you have fire extinguishers in your car? Some will say, well, that's overkill. Well, it's going to be overkill until the situation comes up where that fire extinguisher is needed and you don't have it, and your lack of preparedness will show. How many of you have spare tires in your car? How many of you know how to change the tire of a car so that when the situation comes out and you're on the side of the road and there's nobody to miles to your left or miles to your right, you can help yourself? How many of you are prepared for cybersecurity, have updated your security profiles online, on Facebook, on Twitter? Everybody's talking about hacking and all that stuff. How many of you have taken the time to be prepared for that? Again, it doesn't need to be paranoia. It doesn't mean that you start being suspicious and hoarding stuff and thinking that the end of time is coming. No, that's not what's going to happen. But there's just some basic things, guys, some basic things that you just have to be prepared for. And I'm getting really cold here. I might have to stop this because I wasn't prepared for this weather, I guess. So just think about that. I'm gonna really cut this video here very soon. So think about it. Are you always prepared for the things that matter in your life? Are you? Look at it, right? Boys are not prepared. Children are rarely prepared, right? But as a man, you always have to be prepared. If you're going for a date with a girl, be prepared. Not just be prepared to go on that date. Be prepared. What happens? Do you have gas in your car? Are you going to run out of gas? Then fill your tank in the night before, not the day or 1 hour to it, because you might be going there and there's traffic. If you're going to something important and it normally takes you 30 minutes, be prepared and imagine that maybe there will be traffic and giving buffer time, right? Your career, you have to be prepared for it. Things are changing. I'm talking about technology, and I'm talking every day. Technology. A lot of you are trying to learn one skill in technology. But guess what? That might get you a job now. But what happens 1 year from now, 2 years from now, 3 years from now, when things change? We're talking about Hadoop today. Hadoop did not exist six years ago. 2011, that's when people started bringing Hadoop to industry. I know Doc Cutting has started that stuff back in 2006 or so, but it really came to industry not that long ago, right? And then Hadoop came and MapReduce, and guess what? Now everybody's talking about Spark. And if at the time you weren't prepared and looking ahead and saying, am I thinking about the future? Am I putting my things in order? So if things that I know today switch from being what they are, I can respond quickly to that. If you're not in that situation, then you're not prepared, guys. And that's a characteristic that men need. So go out, look at the things around your life. Think about preparedness, guys. I hope you take away something from this. Think about being prepared for your situations. Are you going out hunting or just scouting or hiking? Are you prepared? Do you have water? Do you have the snacks that you need? Have you given enough time for it, right? That's what it takes to be prepared. I was actually out in the woods hiking. Guess what? It's not too late now. It's about whatever time it is. But there is still a little bit of time for sunset, but you guys can see the sun is going down. Well, I could sit in the woods there and just keep looking, and then find myself surprised that it got dark and I'm still there, and then I start getting worried. Well, when you're prepared, you leave even when there is time to give yourself buffer in case something delayed me from coming out. I wouldn't be coming out in the dark. It just all comes down to being prepared, guys. So I hope this video, I might be doing a lot of vlogs like this and including it in my channel. I know I do the whiteboard sessions that I include, and you might see that in my channel. But I think that the vlogs, let me know anyways, that do these vlogs help? Do you guys like them? Is this interesting? I'm just, this is freestyle. Nothing is rehearsed. But I think that is a very important topic that a lot of us can benefit from. Again, I know I made this specifically for guys. The most attractive trait it takes to be a man. There are women that watch my channel, but this one is really for you guys. Ladies, I might make something for you guys. If you have comments or suggestions, leave them below. I'll look at it and I should be able to respond to it. It's getting cold. Guys, make sure you subscribe. Make sure you subscribe. That's what it takes to be prepared. That way when I release videos, you can get them. And I'll talk to you guys soon. Stay strong. Peace.